Hey, so I could hook up with you guys for a PLC, but this is kind of what I've been doing with my one class of coding and 33 students. Is we're on lesson number 9, but not really number 9. If you look at my lessons so far, I did the first one as the Tinker program, I suppose, laid it out, but I added my own. I'll call it lesson 1.2, 1.3. I kind of pulled from lesson number 1 and kind of build my own little thing, just having them um, to use some code blocks provided to make the dog walk, move 100 steps forward, wait for a second. Just simple little things that they may have skipped through kind of quickly in the lesson. So we did lesson 1.2, I called it, and I just built it kind of like what you do, Dan, and I assigned it to the kids. And I made one called 1.3, same thing, but just kind of have them use costumes, like make a small fish explode into a big fish. So it was a fish, then a costume change to explosion, then a costume change to the big fish. We did that one. We did 4 and 5 and 6 as is, 7 as is, 8 as is, and like, wait a minute, this is getting out of hand. Because I went through 6, 7, and 8 myself in about 10 minutes time, and I didn't learn a dang thing, but I passed them all, which is excellent. So I've been kind of adding little things as we go. I don't have it on here, but I assigned a quiz. I don't know if I have it here or not yet, but I call it number 6B, because 6 is my number 6 was jumping over obstacles. This is the one where we had the person, use the keys to move and jump and kind of change the X and Y values. So I gave him a challenge. I call it number 6B, where I had have him move a character, move forward, wait for a second, jump and kind of hover, do a somersault, land, and carry on. I think I have that one up in my projects. Where are we at here? This 8, 7 talk bubbles. Let's go next. There it is, 6B, this one. Where it was just, I'll play it for you. It's fun to watch, not really. Where I have on the space bar press, the fish moves, it'll pause, jump, do a somersault, then land back in the water and carry on. Again, they're kind of skipping through the lesson so dang fast that they're missing all the concepts. So I kind of slowed it down. I gave them just the idea. They built their own scene, their own character, their own actor, and kind of made it from scratch based on this little narrative I gave them. So that was that. What else we do here? We worked on, let's go back. The current one we're doing now, I had them look at that one lesson, I forget what it was called. It's lesson number on storytelling, just having little talk bubbles. This is my number 7 lesson on storytelling. Again, I asked them some questions after it was done, because on my grade book it shows everyone passed it with green check marks. And I said, hey, what happens if a character want to talk to another character? What do we do? And no one had a clue. So I added that one, and that one we just gave them. Nope, sorry. This one, 7B, where it was just make 2 characters talk and have them ask questions from one another. And basically I had them kind of give 2 characters, no emotion, no nothing, just have them dialogue back and forth. And we kind of went through as far as wait times. Like if the ant talked first, the dog's going to wait. And we figured out, well, if it takes them, a second to talk, you better pause for that second and then begin talking. So we kind of talked about, did like little number lines or like storyboards and figured out, amount of time we need to have each character talk, have talk bubbles not overlap or have them talk at the same time. So we did that one. And the latest one we did, I call it lesson 8B, because that one kind of deals with, back here again, lessons on the keyboard interactions. That's the one we had to use the arrows to move and jump and capture those little power cells. So I call mine lesson 8B. We sent that one just today. And that one, the idea was I just drew a little map on a CAD program on Google SketchUp, and I gave him a little character. Oops, stop that. And then, of course, that can work now. I'm on the wrong one. Reset it. but I'll open it for you. That way you can see it. But we first did the coding blocks where I had them move. This is hard to see because it's a bad video, but that's okay. Put it up here. I had them first use the arrow keys. They had the little actor move from the starting point, called point A, move through the maze to zone number 1 by using the keyboard. Your mouse or your arrows had, when the up arrow pressed, change Y by, when down arrow pressed, change Y by. Had that, so they went through that, and then they toggled through it, and then they had it where they went kind of going 1 click, 2 click, 3 click, 4 click, 5 click. They figured out how far it was to move, then how far to move, and from there I had to map out to automate it. So I'll stop that, plug on start back in, and then we added the change X values. We had wait time, so it had more of a smooth transition. So I went from the keyboard clicks to counting to mapping out to an automated sequence where the little character moves through the maze all the way up to zone number 1, and then it stops and it'll chime plays. Yay! Then they're gonna have them switch costumes, then move from 1 to 2, switch costumes, 2 to 3, switch costumes, and 3 to out. And then again, we're gonna probably have them go back to, this would be tomorrow then, to turn this off, turn this back on, recalculate out our plan or our steps, our sequence, build that code bank, and then turn this back on again, recalculate, build that code bank, and so on and so forth. But now I find this Tinker program is pretty nice. It works for the most part, but the bad part I don't like is, because I went through those lessons so dang fast that I didn't learn anything by them, but I got check marks on all of them. That's my only biggest flaw with that. So I might kind of relook at the future ones and ask you guys more questions too, because I think you're a little bit further ahead than I am on this program, is to figure out how can we maybe build from scratch our own little lessons that are based on those. So I'm going to work on the guessing game one. My guess would be on Thursday or Friday with that one. And then if I go on to some of these two, but I know we've been using some of these skills like the turn directions and earlier ones. Screen bounds, not yet. Music, tempos, broadcasting messages. But we might kind of skip ahead a little bit too on that. But I think we're on the right track for the most part. But I know I love those homemade ones. Those really make the kids think and learn and do. But they're hard to grade. So I kind of have them more so I have them do a little reaction sheet, or they'll fill things out and then give me some information on that. And have you been using or haven't been using? I talked to the teacher. I forget his name. Teaches 6th grade tech at Vandenberg, and then science at SOC in Vandenberg. I think it starts with an H. I should know this, but I don't know it. But he kind of showed me this thing called Google Classroom. I'm using that quite a bit now with my classes. So I have my coding class. The kids all log into it, and then I give them a little work assignment and have them do a little reflection sheet. So I've been kind of basing the grades more so on those for my homemade ones. I had a week 4 wrap up question we had. Here's at lesson 6B. But then I found the kids write some really weird comments. Some I used against them, unfortunately. This was the which one is 6B? That was a fish jumping one, I think it was, where I think the assignment was they had to submit just a screenshot of what they had done, I believe. Let's look here once. Yeah, so have them take a picture of their code blocks, and I'd, of course, look at it, make sure it made sense, and then bam, there it was, and watch it and play it. And yes, I could too is go to the Tinker one. Where's Tinker at? Tinker, there you are. And from here I could, when they save it, go to their projects, watch it there too. But I've been doing more so just kind of by roaming the room, watching as they go, and reflection sheets. That's kind of about where I am with my Tinker stuff. Any feedback would be great, as well as any kind of time to meet and whatnot. But I know tomorrow is it's just a weird days with is we have our RTI tomorrow, and I've been chosen to do the RTI document. So I've been putting out fires in the morning from about 7 to 7:25 before the school day begins. So I hope this video gets to you guys. I hope it makes some sense to kind of know about where we are at up at ZMS.